up on this agenda. Next up on this agenda, I'm gonna give y'all 60 seconds to like this video. We talking about Tasha K, TS Madison, and the DL Whisperer and the drama that ensued. Like this video. Shout out to my AI Michelle. Okay, shout out to AI Michelle. If you're not following me on Sora, you should. Now, this is so messy and I live for it, but Tasha K last night actually revealed that TS Madison has been involved in what could be considered a little bit of fraud. Okay, that I mean between him and his co-founder of his transgender starter house. I don't know what's going on, but at the end of the day, the DL Whisper was involved in exposing TS Madison. Okay, he had called out Dominique Morgan, who is the co-founder of the TS Madison Starter House. Now, I did a video a while ago talking about this. Okay, we pulled up the receipts. Me and Josh was dragging them. We was like, how they gonna have the dang transgenders out there in Conyers and it ain't on no bus route or nothing. These people are in transition. They supposed to be homeless. Okay, how they gonna get around to their job and to their medical care? Like what's gonna happen? But apparently, according to Tasha K, child, and the DL Whisperer and everybody else, TS Manhands ain't got nobody in the house. It's only one person in the house. It's supposed to be a house filled with people. Hold on. I want to hear. Hold on. I'm just gonna pull it up. Y'all know the drill. Copyright disclaimer, section 107 of the Copyright Act. Allowance is made for what? Fair use. So Nala says and Tasha K partnered on this expose. And I was in the chat and I was like, oh child, let me listen. Let me listen and see what's going down. Okay. Hold on. We're gonna listen to a little bit of it. A little bit of it. Hold on. Like this video, please and thank you. Like this video. So there is Tasha K. And she pulled up the Instagram of Dominique Morgan, and it is showing that Dominique Morgan is the co-founder of the TS Manhands Starter House. Okay. And TS Manhands and Dominique Morgan allegedly have are being accused of being involved in some schemes. Like they're saying that the taxes ain't right. They saying that the nonprofit ain't non-profiting. They saying that Dominique Morgan is actually scheduled to be arraigned or sentenced on some charges. Now we played this news clip a while ago, and I'm gonna play Tasha K too. But we played this news clip a while ago about the Dominique Morgan, okay? And people y'all keep talking about it. They was lying on that person. They was lying, but apparently the damn feds didn't say they was lying because Dominique Morgan was charged with grand larceny and falsifying business documents. Hold on, let's listen to the news footage. Copyright disclaimer in section 107 of the Copyright Act. Allowance is made for what? Fair use. We're gonna listen to the Caucasians tell us what the Dominique Morgan had did.
She built a reputation in Omaha as an advocate and author, but now facing 24 criminal counts, one of which carries up to 15 years in prison if convicted.
I'm Melissa Wright.
Not he done came from Omaha all the way to the Atlanta.
On the Dominique Morgan Street, named after a trans activist known for her.
Now he got a street name after him.
Her work in Omaha. On Wednesday, we found out that she's being charged for stealing $100,000 from a New York-based nonprofit.
Dominique Morgan made.
Okay, there he is. I guess that's TS Madison's co whatever of the TS Madison Starter House. And so he's allegedly about to go to jail.
Made a name for herself in Omaha after being released from prison. Morgan began her executive director position at Black and Pink in 2018.
So they've been scamming, or he been scamming like other nonprofits. Hold on, we listening though.
Dedicated to helping LGBTQ plus people who've been incarcerated. In 2021, she told.
And again, this is T.S. Madison's co-founder now. He stole allegedly, or he's been accused of stealing over $100,000 from another nonprofit.
Told us in an interview.
And if we worked just as hard to pull people in as we work to push people away sometimes, we would really get the change we want to see.
In 2022, she moved to New York for an executive director position at the Oak
Not bouncing from state to state, child.
Project, according to her LinkedIn. That's the organization she's accused of taking almost $100,000 from. The group's initial mission, providing resources to the Black trans community.
You didn't know he was trans. Do you need glasses?
Morgan went further, raising money she said would go to bail out indigent people from jail. Okra's board asked for receipts. The district attorney says Morgan handed over some from Fulton County, Georgia, and Douglas County, Nebraska. Investigators say, quote, no such persons were arrested.
Now he came to Atlanta. He came down here to Fulton County to steal, to pretend like he was bailing people out of jail, and there was no receipts for 23 people who were allegedly arrested in Fulton County and Douglas County, Nebraska, and they were never found. But he used this $100,000 to bail out these imaginary people.
Arrested at that time. Prosecutors say Morgan used it.
Somebody said 100,000 isn't a lot of money. It's a lot of money when it's stolen from somebody.
$99,000 she transferred into her personal account in 2022 for a California closet renovation, car payments, shopping, and other expenses, including meals. Morgan is now charged with grand larceny and falsifying 23 business records. If convicted, she could be back in prison for up to 15 years. I did reach out to Morgan for a comment. She told me to talk to her attorney. I'm still waiting to hear back from him.
This was a few months ago. The attorney never got back to the lady, honey. But the story actually went all the way up to the New York Times. Hold on. Since y'all be acting like stuff ain't. Hold on. It went to the New York Times. Hold on. Here you go, right here. Child, this a mess. Hold on. Can it open? I ain't gonna log in now. I can't even log in. Hold on. Let me see. So the New York Times had it. It says, ex-leader of Black transgender group is charged with siphoning money from an organization called the Okra Project that she said would be used to pay bail. It was on The Advocate. Black trans. Hold on. It's a whole bunch of them. Hold on. Because people keep saying that it's a lie. Dominique Morgan was indicted on 1 count of second-degree grand larceny and 23 counts of first-degree falsifying business records during her time as executive director of the Okra Project. Now, who would hire this person who is still actually being investigated and indicted on charges of stealing almost $100,000 from an organization? Now you in Atlanta. It says Morgan, a Black trans woman, is accused of transferring $99,000 to her personal account in July 2022 under the guise of using the money to pay for bail funds, but instead using it on a $19,000 California closet renovation, car payments for Mercedes-Benz, and other expensive purchases of apparel, clothing, and meals. The theft of nonprofit funds deprives communities of critical resources, erodes public trust, and cheats donors who give in good faith. Okay. It says Okra discovered the fraud after they asked Morgan for proof of the payments towards bail, and she submitted receipts for 23 individuals supposedly arrested in Fulton County, Georgia, and Douglas County, Nebraska. After auditing Okra discovered that the receipts were forged and that no such people were detained in those counties at that time. So yeah, so apparently she's scheduled to they are scheduled to be sentenced on that soon. Now, here is what Tasha K and them discovered. I wanted to go back in time and show y'all that first. And now this is what Tasha K said. And y'all know the drill. Copyright disclaimer in Section 107 of the Copyright Act. Allowance is made for what? Fair use. We are researching.
Now have gag orders and restraining orders and protective orders on the DL Whisperer for trying to put out this information, correct?
Yep.
Okay. All right. So I ain't gagged. Because the DL Whisperer has been trying to tell y'all that these men in wigs don't like you. They don't care for you. And this is what they do. They cosplay, they lie about who they are as people. And then they turn around and lie and say what they gonna do to help they people. Whole time it's to help themselves with the money that we donate, the money that the federal government donates to these nonprofits that Dominique sits on the board to and has since funneled to TS Madison's Starter House, who he is co-founder of.
And so TS Manhands has consistently said, I'm rich. I don't steal. I don't have to steal. But then you got somebody who's still sitting right next to you. You got somebody who is the co-founder of your organization. Now, the gag is what was interesting to me. They do stay scamming, don't they? They stay scamming. And you know, TS Manhands claims that he donated his house, right, to this organization to allow transgender people in after they've been locked up or whatever. Today, it's been over a year or two since he said it, right? To date, according to Tasha K and the DL Whisperer and everybody, there has only been one person to even be in the house. Okay. So it's interesting. Hold on, we're gonna listen to a little bit.
Okay. So this is the reason why they don't like him.
That's right.
All right. Go ahead, Nyla. Pick it up, baby. We got more receipts to unwind, baby. Let's go.
Okay, so essentially what it appears that Dominique is doing is the same thing that he's done for other organizations. I can't pronounce it perhaps, but it's NAESM. And this is a...
So listen, I want y'all to pay attention. So allegedly, they were targeting the DL Whisperer for basically amplifying the fact that Dominique Morgan was a scam. Okay, everybody already knew it. It had been on the New York Times and all of that. And so when he started doing that, that's when they began to dox the DL Whisperer. They found out his real name. They began to pull his address and put it on the internet. They began to pull his social and put it on the internet. And then TS Manhands even was reviewing his damn credit report during a live stream. Now, after that happened, the DL Whisperer actually crashed out and said that he wanted to fight TS Manhands. Okay, TS Manhands don't fight men. He only fight women. Remember he threatened me and I had to get a restraining order on him after he doxed me. Remember he threatened Kaya and she had to get a restraining order after, she left him. Remember he threatened Tasha K. You remember he threatened Jess Hilarity. He threatens all these women. And as soon as a man who is in the LGBTQ confronts him, calls him to the carpet, tells him, oh, hell no, you ain't gonna dox me. Come out here and face me man to man. Then all of a sudden he is demure. He can't fight. Oh my God, I'm in fear of my safety. You in fear of your safety, but you go on your platform every day and drag women. You go on your platform every day and talk about women and call them fish and say how much you hate them and the disdain that you have for them and that what you'll do to them. You do all of these things. You pull guns out online. You do all these things. But as soon as a man calls you to the carpet, now you scared. Interesting.
Another non-for-profit. NASM. Okay. Yes. This is.
Oh, and you know what it's giving me? It's giving me that the DL Whisperer had the receipts. The DL Whisperer must have struck a nerve. The DL Whisperer also said that TS Manhand's new house, which he bought for 1.2 million or something like that, is only worth 500,000. And apparently, that might be some mortgage fraud involved. Apparently, maybe. Who knows?
Is another organization that is specifically for trans women of color and, for their protections, their rights, and all of this kind of stuff. This organization is another one where Dominique also sits on the board. And this organization was used to promote and propel the organization that TS Madison has co-founded with Dominique. So Dominique's scheme, in my opinion, looks like, I'm going to help you get a non-for-profit 501(c) status. You put me on the board, and we get a budget, and I get money. That's literally what it's giving. That's what.
That is exactly what it's giving. Shout out to Nyla Says, because I love the way you put this together, Nyla and Tasha, because at the end of the day, it is clear to see. Okay. Now TS Madison has gone and got a restraining order against the DL Whisperer. The DL Whisperer has a restraining order against TS Manhands. And so it'll be interesting to see what happens. Hold on, we're gonna keep looking.
Was giving. So there is a home that TS Madison has that is filed as the non-for-profit organization, the TS Starter House, right?
Mm-hmm. This is the home that she shot Queen's Court in. This was the home that she shot the porn in. This is the home that was publicly put everywhere, that everybody went to. This is a home that I sat in. Okay.
Oh, that's that house. Okay, that was the house that was on Queen's Court and all that. And now what's interesting is, TS claims that he donated this house to this nonprofit. But if the house is still in TS Manhand's name, and I've said this before, then TS Manhand's is getting profit. Okay, even if the nonprofit is paying the mortgage over there, okay, at the end of the day, any equity, any profit will go into TS Manhand's pocket, which means it is for profit. Oh, somebody get the IRS on the line.
And brought my family to. This is when, according to her, I wasn't phobic against the community. Okay, these are all her allegations, but this is that same home, because remember, she bought a mansion. So now she's living in a mini mansion in Atlanta. That's not a mansion, what she got, okay? But it's a mini mansion. But go ahead.
Oh, wait a minute. What's this? It says TS Manhand's Metro Atlanta Sanctuary for Black Trans Women is in bloom. So apparently, he getting pressed with this one person he got in the house. He let one person live in the house. One.
TS Madison's Metro Atlanta Sanctuary for Black Trans Women is a bloom, okay? But go ahead, Nyla, finish it up.
Okay, so it appears like they are trying to give off that they're trying to help the trans community. But like you said earlier, they're helping themselves. There has only been one participant thus far in that home, and that home has been open since it's going on a year now. Okay. They just got their first.
So apparently there are no homeless transgenders. Okay. There are no transgenders who are in need. There are no transgenders who need housing. There are no transgenders who are in transition. Okay. In the past year. I'm just saying, like, y'all be acting like this is such a grand thing. They had a whole ribbon cutting ceremony, right? They did all of these things. They've been getting press about it. Where are the benefactors of the nonprofit money? I need to know.
Their first inhabitant at the end of this past year.
Okay. And that habitant came, this is the starter house that TS Madison has opened to help, house people with HIV and AIDS, to get trans girls off the street because she made it. And after the DL Whisperer allegedly put out that this house was a shell company, okay? A shell company, that is when TS decided to put the first transgender person in the house and did a photo op with it as
Yep. As soon as people start calling him out about, where is the money going? Is this really true? Do you really have a nonprofit? We don't believe you. Then all of a sudden he goes and do a photo op with one trans person living in the house. There's only one trans person that have been vetted enough to live in the property. Interesting. Let's finish.
Proof, even though the house has been, according to our research, receiving funding, but where's the funding going if there are no trans women in the house? This is the first.
That's right.
But keep it going, keep it going.
One.
Let me let you read it.
That's right. So no, essentially, you
Right. Where is the funding going if there's only one person in the house? Where, like, how much money y'all sending y'all donations? He had a commercial begging for donations. He does all this stuff for donations. Where's the donations going? If it's not anybody in the house, it's one person in there. Is it going to pay for TS Manhand's new mortgage? Where is it going?
you're dead on the money because based on the timing of everything, every single thing that the DL Whisperer was putting out and rolling out was leading to it, you know, to the obvious. And so all of this outrage and this organized smear campaign, the shade room going in on him, all of these trans women that are just attacking him and stuff like that, they may not even know the full scope of the scheme.
I don't like it either. And it's like the whole LGBTQIAX community has been like on DL Whisperer's head simply because Dominique Morgan started, then TS Madison started, and then everybody started, and then he apparently claps back and people get upset, and then it's back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. What I don't know. It's interesting to see that like even the shade room did what they considered to be an expose on the DL Whisperer, and then everybody on the damn thing was saying in the comment section was on the DL Whisperer side. So let's finish.
But here's what I need women to understand as well. They are trying to influence, and I'm not saying that you don't have your reasons to do whatever you do politically or whatever, but some of the reasons why they are so against certain policies being put in place is because they are eating literally because of these policies. Okay, this equality for women, that is not the top of their agenda, and it never has been. They are using this the protected status that they had before some of these things were rescinded as a weapon against you, because if you notice, you can't say anything back to them. If you defend yourself, you're transphobic. For defense.
And I know Nyla and Tasha. I know. Hold on, I'm gonna fast forward a little bit because I need to see what else is going on in here. Honey, sure. Hold on.
Okay. No, and Dominique absolutely gave the seed money. Absolutely gave the seed money.
Wait, let me go back.
About a year ago.
And have they filed taxes on the starter house? TS Madison?
No.
Explain to us why nonprofits have to file taxes. This is what the DL Whisperer was trying to whisper to y'all, that this whole movement, he's for the LGBTQ, but the T's is strictly for propaganda and funneling money to their needs and wants.
Y'all, this is interesting. I can't wait for Nala to do her expose, because at the end of the day, how did Dominique give TS Manhands seed money for the starter house and is now the co-founder? Where did the money come from if he's under indictment for stealing $100,000 from another nonprofit? What is happening?
Okay.
Yeah.
But tell us how TS Madison is supposed to run this nonprofit. Is she supposed to receive funds from another nonprofit to a nonprofit?
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
No. And Dominique absolutely gave the seed money. Absolutely gave the seed money. With a non-for-profit, this is how it's supposed to work. You're given a budget for nearly every single expense that you can think of, especially inside of a home. And you are supposed to, typically, you're supposed to report monthly for your own records, and then monthly, and then quarterly, you're supposed to submit that over to the government, which they have not.
So in this whole time they done had this starter house, there's not been one quarterly filing, one yearly filing.
Not one.
And not one person living in that house until she did the press conference after the DL Whisperer.
After getting exposed.
So in my opinion, does it look like, according to your research, that they are misappropriating nonprofit funds for their personal lives and lifestyles?
According to my research, according to my damn near 15 years experience as an accountant, absolutely. That's what it's looking like. Of course, I would need to look at the books, but this is my opinion.
But you remember Dominique, and that's why he's under a plea deal now, is because he and I say he sent over what the government deemed as falsified documents stating that he had bailed several individuals out of jail with money that was given to his nonprofit through a grant, but he illegally used it on himself. And then with one of those nonprofits, he used that nonprofit to fund TS Madison Starter House, is what it's looking like. So which means when we go back to the Kimora Lee Simmons, if that house was funded with illegal money illegally, shouldn't they have to forfeit their house once a final investigation is done?
Oh, yeah, the government coming for that house, they're going to have to come up with some proper receipting, or the government will take what's theirs. Absolutely.
Whoa.
So did you find out
able
to buy the so-called mansion that she's lived in? Because I did see some receipts that the house is valued at $500,000, but she paid $1 million for it. How is that possible?
Well, look, the only way that's possible is if there is an appraiser that is dirty, along with a lender that is dirty. Don't you remember what was happening after?
There's a lot of shady appraisals and mortgage brokers in Atlanta, honey, a whole bunch of them. And now I don't know why anybody would want to buy a house that is overvalued. I mean, because it won't pan out well for you at the end of the day. Like by the time you try to sell it, you'll be upside down. So, but I mean, if somebody listed for whatever, you can get anybody to say, that is worth that. But would you really want to buy a house? I always say that too. Like nobody wants to buy the most expensive house in the neighborhood. That is stupid. Like, and so the houses that are in that neighborhood. Remember, we looked at the damn house. You could go back in my archives. Okay. I ain't trying to, I didn't dox nobody, but I was looking at the house when it was listed. Okay. And, yeah, every other house in that neighborhood was like 700, 600, 500. So, I mean, I wouldn't want the $1 million house in the neighborhood if all the other houses won't sell for that.
9/11, if you owned a home during that time, people were refinancing, but they were financing for like way over what the appraisal amount was. And then we end up paying for all of that in 2008. That's not legal. Like, honestly, that is the height of criminality when it comes to like loans and real estate and stuff. Like you will go to jail for stuff like that. They don't play about that.
Okay. So why I told y'all to put Trump out of your minds and stuff like that.
So y'all go over there and watch the full interview. Like what I wanted to like focus on was the DL Whisperer and TS Manhands actually doxing him, posting his information, calling him out. Like he's done that to a lot of other people. Most of the time it's it's women. But this time, because the DL Whisperer was so close to exposing all of them, was exposing TS Madison's house, the value of TS Madison's house had pulled up to TS Madison's house after TS Madison had doxed him. Now all of a sudden, it's just interesting. Hold on. So I don't know if y'all saw, like TS Madison tried to put out there that he did the exact same thing to me. This is why I am triggered when I talk about this because y'all remember when TS Manhands put my phone number all over the internet to have people call me when I exposed that he was stealing stuff from Kaya. Y'all remember that? So it's been a theme with TS Manhands. And apparently when I went and got my restraining order because he put my phone number on the internet, people were like coming to my house. I had people on my Ring camera. Kaya had people coming to where she was and putting stuff on her van. All kind of stuff was going on. So we had the receipts and everything to all of that. We went to the courthouse. We got a restraining order. We went to court. He came to court and was acting like, oh my God, trans get killed every day. And so a judge did, it was just a comedy of errors at the end of the day. The judge didn't want to see this man in a wig up here playing like he was the damsel in distress. So the judge basically said, all of y'all stay away from all of y'all for a year. And we was like, okay, because that's all we wanted anyway. Okay. So here we are in 2026. I think this happened in 2018. Here we are in 2026 after he allegedly doxed the DL Whisperer, which I believe he did because, again, this is his MO. The DL Whisperer did what I wouldn't do. I wasn't going to pull up to that man's house and try to fight him, but the DL Whisperer did. The DL Whisperer went to his house. Hold on, here it is right here. And recorded it, turned on the camera. And I'm like, clearly, he didn't feel like he was doing that wrong. And here he is.
Madison, bring that ass outside. Look where I'm at, ho. What's up?
And then TS Manhands put the video out of the DL Whisperer driving around in a circle in his neighborhood. Now, see, the gag is that's a public street. The man didn't stop. The man did yell your name out. The man didn't stop. The man didn't walk up to his door. Again, that's a public street. I don't know. He was recording. It's really nothing he could do. And so the TS Manhand said that he was in fear of his life, honey. He said, hold on, where is it? I don't even have it. He said he was in fear of his life because he doxed DL and DL pulled up, which is weird to me. Now, then he goes and gets a restraining order against the DL Whisperer. And now the DL Whisperer.
Hey, that bitch home. He gonna get a visitor.
Hold on. It ain't in here. He went and then they put his full, the boy's full name, DL Whisperer's name, Naquan Palmer. He sends the restraining order out to all of these publications, which he did the exact same thing to me, acting like he had got a restraining order against me. He sent the top half and not the full half that said we were granted a restraining order against each other. He sent it to the Shade Room. He sent it to probably Gay Magazine. He sent it to all the media outlets to make it seem like he got a restraining order against Kaya and the blogger from Straight From the A. And it was not true. We all got a restraining order against each other. And it's the same way in this situation. Now he's sending out all this stuff to act like he is in the fear of his life and that he has a restraining order against the DL Whisperer, when in all actuality, they got restraining orders against each other, child. Hold on. Here is the DL Whisperer's restraining order. Let me find it. Shout out to the squad in the chat, honey. Shout out to the squad in the chat. Here is the DL Whisperer's restraining order right here. So, but no other news outlets been publishing the DL Whisperer's restraining order. Why? Because TS Madison is the same as Candy. Got his, people that's in his pocket, okay, who will, post things for him, i.e. the Shade Room and all of that. And it's interesting because, again, Naquan Parker versus not Madison Chanel Renee Hinton. Child, if you don't put Timothy on that paperwork, it said the respondent must stay 100 yards away from petitioner, and it was signed by a judge right there. Okay, so they both have restraining orders against each other. And then the Shade Room was trying to form this narrative as if, the DL Whisperer was doing something wrong by exposing DL men. But they drag in the shade room too, because it seems like Justin from the shade room was in his feelings because he's a gay man and he's against exposing DL men. But there is that.
You got like 5 or 6 videos of this, because they was doing this for a while.
Yeah, I do. I got several.
But TS man hands, he been going after women for the longest.
Oh yeah.
And Michelle, this man is really weird. He weird, and then they throw that label on you. Like, I got transgender people in my life. I'm talking about that one that keep coming after us. Like, he want to group everybody together and say we talking about, like, if they talk about one black woman, they're not talking about the whole black race. Why do we have to be talking about every one of them? That's crazy to me.
Yeah, we're not a monolith for women though, because he calls women as a collective, CUNTs and fish and all of that when he's referring to women. And so he don't be just talking about one woman when he's saying that. He be like, and the fish this and the fish that. Like, who is he talking about?
But you missing one word though, Michelle.
What?
It's the black women that he come for. He don't come for the white. He come for the black women.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's his audience though. So,
it's just
we
like
got to do better about who we support, and it is what it is. So he got a huge female fan base and gay male fan base, and they like it. I love it. It is what it is. So the smarter people, you listen and you understand that he really don't like you like that. The same way Junkie Not Evil, we talk about that all the time. But people gonna support who they want to support.
That's facts. But I ain't gonna keep you. I just had to come up here and say I remember telling you about weirdo in the airport.
I remember you giving us the tea, honey, and I appreciate you.
Yeah, always. I love you, girl. And I'm shout out to your mom. Hope she's doing good.
All right, thank you so much. I appreciate you, friend.
All right,
bye.
Hang me up, Michelle.
I got you. Hold on, y'all. Before I go, I wanted to because I did find the receipts that I was looking for, as far as him, me and Kaya had a restraining order against him. And like I said, my website is an archive. I know a lot of people like, you should be writing now, blah 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 blah. And I get it. I just got burnt out. Like I said, every day for 18 years is a lot to write on the site. Okay, but it is what it is. It's still there. Okay. Here it is right here. This was written April 11th of 2018. Kaya and blogger ATLien granted restraining order against TS Manhands. And this was why he was upset again, because he was being exposed the same way the DL Whisperer is exposing him now about that house and about the nonprofit and all of those things. He gets when he is about to be exposed, it seems like he tries to drag the person who is doing the exposing. Okay. So of course, I'm a blogger. I didn't know Kaya or TS Madison at the time, and I had actually talked about the Queen's Court trademark. Okay. I said, who owns the Queen's Court trademark? Kaya says TS Madison stole it, plus his response. And I actually did a video where I pulled up the trademark application, which didn't have Kaya's name on it at all. And if those of you who remember all of this, remember that there was a blogger, I think it was King of Reeds or somebody, who actually said that he was gonna go buy or whatever, and then TS Manhands got online and says, I only bought it because bloggers were saying that they was gonna snatch it. But then when I pulled the actual receipts, it was determined that that was a lie, because he actually had filled out the application before the King of Reeds actually even said anything about it. So he got caught in a lie. So he got real pissed off at me, because people get pissed off at me because I tell the truth. You know what I'm saying? Like, at the end of the day, like, I deal in receipts. Y'all ought to know that by now. I pull court documents. Y'all might think I hate one person or the next, but at the end of the day, I'm just team truth. I talked about it with the Simon and Portia thing. I talk about it with everything. And so here it is right here. It says, in addition to the trademark drama, it seems that the former co-hosts were also at odds about money, as apparently one was benefiting financially from social media revenue and one was not. Y'all know who was benefiting? TS Manhands. There were also claims of stalking, stealing, and cyberbullying that has continued to this day. Now, the latest court drama involving the former Queen's Court co-host involves a real-life courtroom. And so here it is. I actually did a video about it where I talked about the backlash and about how he and his manager, Giovanni Mack, at the time posted my cell phone number online. Okay, there's a video online about it. I sought an order of protection against Timothy Hinton, aka TS Madison, in Rockdale County, after I began receiving threats of bodily harm from Hinton himself and members of his Maddie mob. My stance on the matter was in direct contradiction to Madison's claims, and I immediately became a target of his tactics. It's been age restricted. I wonder what that is. It says, on a related note, Kaya filed a criminal order of protection accusing T.S. Madison of cyber stalking after he and his legion of fans bullied her, harassed her, and continuously flagged her social media accounts. I'm trying to see what this video is. Oh, that's Kaya. Okay. Okay, then it says T.S. Madison still feels some kind of way about how Kaya learned about his alleged misdeeds. And there are, when we went to court, this was right after the court date. That's me and Kaya. They go Josh after the court date. And then Mr. Hinton had his eye on us while we was eating. Okay. And he up here claiming that the case was dismissed. Talk about some keep winning that guy has. And then T.S. Manhan says they was heated that what they planned on happening didn't. That is all. But the gag is we got a mutual restraining order. So how is it that it didn't happen? Okay, there you go right there. So that's what I said. According to the Shade Room, T.S. Manhands posted this. It's still on the Shade Room. Look at this. T.S. Manhands posted this, acting like he won. Okay. Talk about next time have facts to back up lies against me, and people should seriously stop hanging on to every word they hear from YouTube. Your attempt was dismissed and the traps you set reversed on you. So he was telling the Shade Room, everybody, like I said, you see he got the Shade Room in his pocket, just like they are coming after the DL Whisperer, okay? And he said this acting like it was dismissed when it wasn't, okay? At the end of the day, the criminal stalking complaint was dismissed, but we were granted a civil restraining order for all parties, which is what we wanted. Okay. And here it is right here, signed by a judge. Okay. He was not to have any contact, direct, indirect, or through another person with the other party and or their immediate family by telephone, cell phone, text, messaging, fax, email, social network, website, any other blah, 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 blah. And it was in effect for a year. Okay. And like I said in this in this blog, it's a win in my book. And Kaya stated previously, she just wants to be left alone. Hopefully this will at least start the process. But judging from the Maddie Mob latest online post, it doesn't seem like the harassment is going to stop anytime soon. And it didn't. And again, even with the restraining order, like I could talk about him online because that's my job. I am a blogger, okay, and the restraining order does not prevent free speech. It does not prevent me from reporting on him. It didn't prevent any of that. It only was like I can't communicate with him. I cannot send him direct messages. I could not text him the same, and he could not do me the same way. So yeah, it was interesting, but throughout that period, he was still online threatening, posting guns, doing all kind of crazy stuff. So, you right, honey. No weapon formed against me. And again, I am a grown woman. I am a woman, okay? A real woman, a biological woman. And he threatened to KILL me, to beat me up, do all these things to me simply because I blogged about him. Now, here is a man who he has doxed, who pulled up on him. Now, all of a sudden, he is in fear of his life. Hold on, let me go see. Here it is right here. Just a grown ass man. Look at this. And as you can see, he blocked. Okay, but I just went over here just to see this. Talk about, yes, I am extremely afraid for my life. A person I've never met driving to my home, threatening my life. Now he see how I feel. A person I had never met was putting my phone number online, was calling me on the phone, all of the above. Talk about screaming out they want to see me take my last breath by their hands. Yes, for sure. I'm in fear of my life. Child, bye. And somebody up under here actually said, had actually mentioned me, was which was how I had seen it. Hold on, what they said. Probably deleted it. Hold on, let me see. Shout out to the squad. Shout out to the squad. Oh, look at all these people up under here. Child. It's too many people. It is too many people, and all of them are threatening violence. I don't understand. How is it that you afraid from your life? Then everybody up under here talking about beating people. I don't get it. Throwing rocks and hiding hands. That's what they do. Throwing rock. Oh, there it is right there. Somebody said it right there. Whoever this is, elusive person, said nobody give a fuck. You did the exact same thing to Michelle ATLien, and now you know how she felt. You doxed Michelle and sent your funny looking mutant cronies to her house back in the day after she exposed you for stealing from Kaya. You deserve everything that is happening to you. I know that's a squad member. I know that's one of y'all in here because I was like, look at y'all. Okay. And then the Nicki Minaj people talk about he wished death on Nicki Minaj, and they talk about R.I.P. the TS Madison. So there's that. Let me see. I think he had responded to Tasha K too. Let me go see. Hold on. I'm just wasting time right now trying to push my number up. Hold on. Like this video. Y'all, I see y'all in here. You know, we ain't doing that. Y'all ain't got no Valentine. I ain't neither. Hold on. Oh, here it is right here. Somebody had posted this Tasha K clip, and then he responded with laughing emojis. And the person was actually like, how you laughing when you sitting right next to a criminal? Okay. And so he didn't respond to that. Talk about it was a lie. But we looked at the news footage. Is the news footage all a lie, y'all, about Dominique Morgan? Is all of that a lie? Is that the truth? Did Dominique Morgan steal the money from the other nonprofit and put it into your nonprofit? Is that a lie? Or is that the truth? TS Madison. Okay, here it is right here. He said TS Madison is allegedly using the Starter House charity home as a shell company. Reports are coming out that after 2 years, Madison had one person inhabit the home in December 2025. TS Madison's business partner, Dominique Morgan, apparently is set to be sentenced in April 2026 for stealing charity funds to fund his personal life. If no one is inhabiting the home, TS is essentially misappropriating government funds to increase the value of his home, as well as line himself and Dominique's pockets illegally. And we already watched the clip once, right? And so he had responded and was laughing. And then the person said, I actually reported on this back in January. I just knew posting Tasha's report would get people scrambling. I do my homework. So this person
that they're probably looking into Timothy and his business dealings because they were looking into Timothy and his business partners' business dealings. TS Madison's business partner charged with stealing nearly $100,000. From where? A charity. From a charity. From a charity. From a charity.
So people been talking about it, but you know, hopefully more people will pay attention now that Nyla and Tasha are putting it together. Child, hold on. Then they talk about TS Madison's gonna sue. Child. Then what else on here, child? What else? She is laughing, blah blah blah. Tasha K sick of being sued, yada 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 yada. So we shall see, because it ain't no lie that his business partner is under indictment for $100,000. Where's the lie? Where's the lie? We saw it on the news. We saw it on the news. Okay. Ooh, okay. Now moving on. Like this video. Like this video. Now, I will see you guys in the next video. I don't see nobody else calling in. You said TS is on Twitter saying he gonna sue Tasha K. Okay, well, I will be reading the legal documents. He said, I guess we supposed to act like we didn't see it, kind of like some in Congress. That's what I'm saying. How are we like what? The man is in court. He is the co-founder of your organization. Like any person with any type of sense would question why would you have that person on your board of directors or on your staff or as a co-founder or whatever if you are not in cahoots. I'm just saying it is obvious that he has been indicted, the district attorney has been involved, all of those things, the news, the New York, it's on the New York Post, New York Times, all of that. So there's that. You said so true. And Tasha K was talking about the business partner and not TS man hands. Okay. It's all just interesting to me. You never win when you play dirty, honey. You never win when you play dirty. And I'm sure he'll probably use the Dominique Morgan dude as a fall guy, probably because he already going to jail. What's a couple of $100 more $1,000? Okay, I'm just saying, go ahead, take the fall for that too. You already going to jail, honey. Keep TS name out of it. TS will probably pay your legal fees or something, child. Who knows what may happen? But we will be tuned in to follow this story. Look, we will be tuning in to follow the court documents, honey. Anyway, y'all, happy Valentine's Day. I appreciate you guys. You said I really look up to you guys, Tasha K, you, Sherelle. I really look up to powerful black women. You guys talk about black issues, and I am here for it. Thank you for fighting for us. Thank you for watching, friend. And like I always say, pro me don't mean anti you. And y'all know I done did so many videos talking about don't call me sis. I remember doing that video like 6-7 years ago. I remember doing videos on TS Manhands. I have a whole playlist on TS Manhands and the things that he did to me. And so if you want to go back in time, you feel like watching, go ahead. I love watching old videos too, but documentation is documentation. It's all on the internet. So it's running around, child. You love my outfit. Thank you, friend. You can find it on my LTK. I've had it for a while now. I was like, oh, I could wear that Valentine's Day, red and pink. Yes, we love Adidas. All right. I appreciate each and every one of you. I will see you guys in the next video. Don't forget to subscribe if you are not subscribed. Thank you for joining me for the mess. It's been fun.